Hello everybody, Katie here today with the first episode of our aquarium park build type thing. I'm sure it's got an actual name in the thumbnail and description and whatever, but before we get into the building, I made this just to show you guys what we're working with. I made a small island in World Painter, and yeah, here's a little fly around of it. It's really cool. I'm very, very happy with it, and I think it's gonna be pretty much perfect for what I've got planned for this series. Of course, we're gonna be building an aquarium and a couple of extra buildings with it. Also, strange thing I'm already gonna point this out. The shaders I was using for this, for some reason, make all the leaves disappear in replay. I'm currently working on fixing that. So hopefully by next episode, all the problems with the time-lapse mod, and you'll see in the, not the replay, the showcase of the build, hopefully all the lighting issues and leaf blocks missing issues will be fixed. So yeah, I don't know what's wrong with it right now, so I don't really have time to fix it. But anyway, yeah, super cool island, really happy to build on this. I'm very excited. Anyway, I think, yep, here we go. So as you can see, we have a little blue wool outline. Oh, that's weird, it also made all the plants disappear. That's interesting, I didn't realize that the time-lapse did that. That's very funny. But anyway, yeah, I have a big blue outline of what this build was meant to be, and I quickly got rid of that blue outline, well, not got rid of it, but I stopped following it pretty quickly just because it didn't end up working with what I'd actually wanted to build. Also, I'm gonna quickly mention this. You're gonna notice about 2/3 through the time-lapse, it just suddenly jumps dramatically in how much progress has been done. And that's because, again, the many issues I had over the past few days recording this, Replay just deleted one of my, replays. So we're actually missing about an hour and a half's worth of footage, which I'm actually really annoyed about because it was probably some of the best footage in all honesty, just showing the point where I went from what we're having here to the actual good build, which really annoyed me that we lost that. But, you know, there isn't much I can do. So I'm gonna say quickly, there's a lot about this original build here you guys are seeing that changes. In fact, most of this does not stay the same because I'd say, so I built for about an hour 20 to start with. And that's, you'll see here, like a lot of this basic structure and getting that set up. I very quickly realized something was wrong with it. Like, it just wasn't looking like an aquarium, and you guys will see that too pretty soon. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong really with it. So I took a little break and looked up actual aquariums, and then I was like, oh my goodness, this is what's wrong with the build. And I fixed all those issues, and you guys will see the fixes for that. I did try to do an awning again. It just didn't look quite right, and again, you'll see everything ends up looking way better in the showcase, and I hope you guys will really enjoy how it looks when it's all done. Also, for those of you expecting an animal today, there is not, well, there is one animal. There's a small tank we build with some cichlids, I think is what they're called. I could be mispronouncing it. I'm not super good with fish names, just because I don't usually study fish, so unfortunately, if I mess it up, I apologize. But anyway, yeah, today's episode is mostly just going to be focused on getting the building done, and that reminds me, I need to talk about how this series is going to go. So, of course, over the past year, we have done a whole 50-part zoo series with lots of time lapses, just like this episode's going to have, where we do a big time lapse showing me building everything, and then we go back and do a first-person view of the finished product and what it all looks like, getting better angles where the replay just didn't show it very well. And that's worked for the previous wildlife park, and that's working for the Jurassic World Reborn series, but I don't want to do that for this series. And there's a very good reason for that, in my opinion, and that is we would finish this entire series in like 8 episodes. Because, well, not that the aquarium is, the tanks are small necessarily, but it's like we'd get a bit too much done in each episode, and it's gonna get really hard to see anything in time-lapse form, just because of how small certain areas are going to be, because we're not dealing with, you know, an open zoo where there's lots of open space to like have the camera fly through. No, we're dealing with an enclosed building with narrow hallways and not very good lighting necessarily. Oh, and it did start raining there, but I quickly fixed that. So instead of doing this usual time-lapse thing, this is really one of the only episodes where this is going to be the case. In fact, future episodes are probably going to be either a mix of first-person building, so you guys get to watch me build live, and I'll be commentating and whatnot, or it'll be just straight me building, you know. So if you guys remember like the old Wildlife Race series, or just think dinos in a way, that's kind of what we'll be doing. I'll just be working on stuff. In fact, dinos is probably the best example, where we have some episodes where we build everything on camera, but we have other episodes where I'll take little cuts here and there if something's just taking me a particularly long time, or it's just not turning out right and I need like an extra hour between clips just to figure out what's wrong. So yeah, that'll be the case. I really do love these shaders, and you guys will see in the showcase, just they do look good when they're not bugging out, but they are bugging out a lot, which is making me wonder if I'll have to switch, which is unfortunate because this shader really does just have the best water graphics that I could get, which is annoying because, you know, if I can't have good water graphics, this isn't going to look like the greatest build, considering everything's indoors and full of water. Yeah, anyway. As you can see so far, I have, we're kind of building the main entrance hall, and that was kind of the big point of today. And I'm going to be building the aquarium slowly, bit by bit. So we were building the big entrance area today with all the hallways that'll be splitting off into the smaller exhibits and all the areas of the main aquarium. And then in future episodes, I'm thinking the next episode we might just build most of the hall and outline where the tanks are gonna go. I'm not really sure. I haven't really 100% figured it out yet, but we'll get there when we get there. That's you know, future Caden's problem, not my problem. But yeah, it's so funny looking at this. Just because, you know, it's like a lot of stuff I've built recently. The final product does not really resemble the time-lapse all that much, and in particular, it still annoys me the fact I lost an hour, like an hour and a half's worth of footage. It's just, it's the worst when that happens. But, you know, you guys still get to see some of the building of phase 2 of what this build ended up being, and trust me, it looks so much better. It looks much more like an actual aquarium. It's just way, way, way nicer, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm definitely gonna have to be spending a lot more time doing research on actual aquariums just to kind of figure out stuff, because of course aquariums aren't really my strong suit. Exhibits for like big animals, I've got that down, obviously. I mean, I've made my whole channel's based around building exhibits, but yeah, aquariums, not something I build super often, so I'm not really sure how to do them. But yeah. Also, I do add in, I think, 3 or 4 more mods in between this time-lapse and the next one, which is about to start, just because I suddenly realized I was missing a ton of blocks I actually really wanted to use to build this thing. So, yeah. Also, you can't really see it in the time-lapses, I think, but I do add in a pattern on the walls for the inside section, just to kind of break it up. I don't know if it's going to stay, just purely because, I don't know, it can look good, but it also kind of looks really dumb in certain areas, so yeah. And there you can see my first attempt at trying to set up the hallways, but yeah, that changes a lot. It really does, but yeah. Oh, and here's time-lapse too. So, yep, there you go. You can see the building has changed dramatically. I got rid of the dark exterior walls because I don't remember which zoo aquariums I was looking at. I think it was the Georgia Aquarium, an aquarium in Kansas, and I don't remember what the other one was, but there was like 3 aquariums I was looking at, and I very quickly realized the exteriors of all aquariums are very bright. And that was one of the big issues with the previous build. I had built it kind of like I would have built the reptile house, or a reptile house, or some sort of enclosed exhibit building, which is usually I build it very dark on the outside and kind of lighten it up on the interior. But an aquarium, you really should be doing the opposite, building a really bright exterior, which is then contrasted with a really dark interior, so that way the aquariums light up a bit more and they really stand out more, and it's kind of easier to see inside the tanks. At least that's what I've gathered from seeing actual aquariums and whatnot. But yeah, I've been to so many aquariums, I can't believe I can't figure out how to build one. You know, it's just one of those weird things. But you can see I built up the actual tank there. I set up a new hallway design. We've got a new exterior. It just all looks so much better. And I think this is going to be a good way to keep the aquarium going. I'm not really sure exactly how it's going to expand out yet. There's a couple of special things I want to do. Some tanks will have be on a second story. Some tanks will be actually below the rest of the aquarium. I bet you can't guess what animals are going in those tanks, but No, it's really easy to guess. But yeah, we've got lots of cool plans. Again, very sorry that this episode didn't turn out to be the greatest one. But, you know, that's on par for most series I start. Episode 1 has usually got a lot of hiccups, but following that, we usually figure out things pretty quickly, and lots of good stuff happens from there. I think I'm just decorating the tank right now. I think that's what's going on. I can't really tell. But oh, you can see the patterning a bit better there. It's kind of, I don't remember what color I used. I think it's cyan concrete, and I kind of created this wave pattern. I don't know. You guys will see it in the showcase. It's, I don't know. It can look good, but it also is kind of meh. We'll see what happens with it. You know, again, lots of stuff is very subject to change right now, just as I kind of go around and decide what it is I actually want to do with this build. So yeah. Anyway, I think I'm gonna let the rest of this play out, and I will catch back up with you guys in the showcase to show you guys what's here. All right, everybody, here we are with the final, well, let me rephrase that. Not the final build, obviously. We have many more episodes to go, but here is the final bit of building for today. Yeah, as I said in the time-lapse, about an hour's worth of footage just disappeared. I'm not sure why the replay mod decided I didn't need that hour of footage. It was really annoying that I don't have that hour of footage because, well, you know, it kind of showed me changing up the whole exterior and making it look way better than it did, but you know what, whatever, we can't have everything, unfortunately. But anyway, yeah, this is what we have right now, and I love it. I think this is a really cool building. Now, obviously, it's a bit plain on the outside. There's not tons of detail out here, but, and in fact, so, like I said in the replay, you know, it's between, I'm sure I've actually already said all this, so I'm not sure why I'm saying it again, but I will. You know, lots of real aquariums don't really have much on the outside, so I didn't really feel like I needed to make the exterior of the building super highly detailed, and because, well, you're not really going to be looking that much out here. You're going to be heading in here to where all the cool stuff is. Of course, we have our little ticket booth section, and I think I'm having this be like the, well, because, you know, like zoos and stuff, usually they have like the membership booth, and then they have like the regular ticket stand and whatever, so I kind of just put them in the same place, and then we have the little turnstiles, and I actually like this. I don't know why. It's simple, and I'm sure a billion other people have done this, but I like this design. It's cool, and it works well. But anyway, here is the first tank area. Now, I am gonna quickly grab some torches, just because it's a bit darker with the shaders than I was expecting. Don't worry, these torches will be removed. I just haven't really figured out exactly how I'm doing the lighting in here yet. I have got some over here, which definitely makes this area a bit nicer, but yeah, this is it. This is what we have. I did throw, I think they're called cichlids? I think it's cichlids. They're called cichlids, I think, which I think they're kind of tropical fish, but they looked really pretty, and they weren't, you know, like some big showstopper kind of fish that we want to put later in the aquarium. So I thought this was a nice little just introductory tank, and it looks pretty good. And you might be like, oh, you know, why'd I pick this shader pack over others? To be honest, this one has the best water for what we're trying to do. You guys have seen me use this pack. I think it's Chocapic 13 version 9, I think. But we've used this in the Reborn series, obviously, to just get a slightly better look underwater in those, in the amphibian exhibits, I believe. But yeah, overall, I like this. I think it looks pretty cool. It's not not a super like advanced or complex tank, but it looks pretty good for what it is. And it'll look a lot better when I figured out the lighting, and we have all these. I did block some of the hallways off with stone just to kind of get a more clear idea of how the lighting is going to look in here. I do want it to be fairly dark, obviously, which is why, again, I went with this dark concrete, and I don't know if I'm going to keep this blue stripe pattern I have going along. I kind of like it, but at the same time, I'm not sure if it'll stay. There are some weird lighting bugs in here for now. I'm kind of trying to figure out what's causing them, but I'll fix them later. But yeah, anyway, of course, we have these 1, 2, 3, I think it's 4 hallways coming off, which will lead to the other areas of the aquarium. And like I said at times, we got a lot of cool areas planned, and I am very, very excited just to build all this. It's been a lot of fun. I do wish I'd gotten a bit more done this episode, but I'm a bit strapped for time. I took a bit more time on this than I usually do. Again, about 3 hours of building for only this, and I feel kind of bad that I only got this done in 3 hours, but you know, I kind of had to figure out what I was doing. But I also really love the island. We got tons and tons of space here to be building out and building up this whole center, because like I said, it's going to be, well, we have the main aquarium here, obviously, and that's going to have, what is it? It's like the abyssal, an open ocean tank, a couple of river tanks, some tropical tanks and whatnot. So there's this whole area right here is basically just going to be the main building. But then eventually we're going to make a couple of other buildings. There's going to be a bird building and an Arctic building. And I think there might be a porpoise building at some point. I haven't decided if that's going to be the thing though. But yeah, anyway, I think that's really all I've got to show today. All we've really got for now. But yeah, very excited for this series. I hope you guys are too. Yeah, and next episode we'll start with an actual tank area. I would ask for which one you guys want to see first, but I have actually, it's the only area I really have planned out so far, so I'm going to start with that one. I'm not going to say what it is, but I'm very excited for the next couple of episodes, just getting stuff started, getting it going, and yeah, it should be a lot of fun. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you've all enjoyed, and until next time, guys, see ya.